Bengal story, it's getting bigger with the more aides of Partha Chatterjee under a scanner in the teachers' recruitment scam. The hearing is currently underway in the Bankshal court. Partha's advocate says no money recovered from my client's residence, no special permission to arrest as he is a public servant. These are some of the arguments put across by Partha Chatterjee lawyer. But breaking news development coming in, the Enforcement Directorate has got 2 days of custody of Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee. Partha remanded to 2 days of ED custody. That's a big breaking news development. We'll try to get Shawan Sen on phone or Priyanka, who's reporting from there on the ground in Kolkata. But that's a big breaking news development after Partha Chatterjee's lawyer said that A, there was no money recovered from Partha Chatterjee's house, though it's a different matter that 21 crores have been found from one of close aides of Partha, and that other aides are under scanner. Also, that one of the envelopes with the cash shows the stamp of Partha's former office when he was Minister of Education. Let's go to Priyanka, who's reporting live from Kolkata. Priyanka, the court there giving 2 days of custody of Partha to the Enforcement Directorate. Please tell us what the Enforcement Directorate is intending to find out during those 2 days of custody now.
Well, absolutely, Abhishek, a big breaking development that is coming from inside of the court, where, of course, ED has been given custody for today and tomorrow. For 2 days at least, they will be interrogating Partha Chatterjee in the entire matter of the SSC scandal, as well as the other links as well that they have uncovered as of now. When, as far as Arpita is also concerned, another ally of Partha Chatterjee, another counterpart of Partha Chatterjee, who had been working in cahoots with him for the SSC scandal as well. And now we are learning, of course, that in the PMLA court, he will be produced on Monday. So till Monday, ED has custody of Partha Chatterjee, and they are expected to interrogate him, to investigate further as far as the documentary evidences is concerned that had been gathered from the raids that had been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. And now we are learning that Arpita as well has been taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, whether or not she will be officially placed under arrest and then be brought to the court today itself is something that we are waiting for. But as of now, the big development that we are tracking for our viewers right now is that Partha Chatterjee has been given 2 days custody to Enforcement Directorate, that is today and tomorrow as well. And on Monday itself, he will be produced before the PMLA court, and further remand will be decided in that itself. But as of now, the kind of investigation that had been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate was taking a turn towards unearthing more and more names, Abhishek, that had been coming to light, who had been working in cahoots with the Partha Chatterjee and also several big names of the West Bengal government machinery as well. So those are the parts of the investigation that the Enforcement Directorate is now going to undertake, and for the next 2 days will be interrogating Partha Chatterjee when it comes to the documentation that has been also seized by the ED while carrying out these raids as well. And that documentary evidence is something that will be confronted, which Partha Chatterjee, in fact, will be confronted with, and Arpita as well expected to be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. Now, that is something that we are waiting for. But as of now, Partha Chatterjee is all set to be investigated and interrogated when it comes to the documentary evidence, the digital evidence as well that has been seized by the Enforcement Directorate. That, because remember, Abhishek, over 20 cell phones that had also been taken from Arpita's house, and that is also going to be.
All right.
Yes,
in fact,
yes, Abhishek.
Just hold on. Shawan joins us over the phone. Shawan Sen, our ace on investigative agencies. Shawan, despite Partha Chatterjee's lawyer saying that the money was not found from Partha Chatterjee's residence, the court has deemed it fit to give 2 days of custody to the Enforcement Directorate. Please tell us the trail that ED is following, and what all is expected to come out of those 2 days of questioning of the Bengal minister.
Well, in fact, Abhishek, if I may say so, in terms of the recoveries that have been made, we haven't seen this kind of a recovery that has been made by the Enforcement Directorate in any other case, the way it has panned out in this particular case, in the teachers' recruitment scam. And let me just elaborate this point, because as what transpired in the court was that 2 things. One, they're essentially trying to indicate that, look here, he is a minister. No permission was basically taken before the arrest was to take place. Now, that in itself is a false premise to begin with, given the fact that no such permission was essentially required. Point number one. Point number two is with regards to the recovery that has been made. We are talking about a lady who goes by the name of Arpita. In fact, she has been placed under arrest. And the details that I have from my sources is that 21 crore rupees has already been seized. And let's not forget that you have packets from the Ministry of Education that have been recovered from her residence. Secondly, there are admit cards as well as documents pertaining to the SSC examinations that were found from her residence. And large percentage of the recovery has actually been made from Arpita's residence. And Arpita's proximity to the minister is well known, even something that the political parties would find it extremely difficult to defend at this point in time, given the fact that she has participated in various political programs of the party number one. And secondly, the proximity has been well defined in multiple ways. And in the days to come, at this juncture, it's going to be a little premature to reveal that because, it's part of the investigation. But I can assure you this much, Abhishek, that the link that has come out, it is going to solidify in the days to come with the kind of evidence that we have gathered so far. And the fact of the matter is that it is not just Arpita, but there are several others who basically come under this scanner. But as of now, the arrest stands at only 2.
Shravan, in fact, I was coming to that. The fact is that Partha Chatterjee is former Minister of Education. There is a present Minister of Education. There was this education board that was overseeing these recruitments. There are former members of the board, former chairman of the board, present members of the board, present chairman of the board. What was happening? Were they all shielding Partha Chatterjee? Were they all aware of the scam? Did they, in that case, not act against those who were involved in that scam, including their own leader? So is the ED going to go in that direction, Shravan?
You've actually hit the ball out of the park right now, simply because, Abhishek, this is exactly on the line that it is going. Because the culpability of others in this particular case, which includes all the members that you have spoken about, and also if you specifically look into the searches that were basically carried out, that will give you an answer to the question that it is not only limited to Partha, and the fact that the culpability of others becomes even more evident from the searches that have been carried out. The fact of the matter is that the period of the scam in itself is very important. It's very crucial, and which is only going to come out once we get our hands on such more documentation. In a short while from now, perhaps we can tell our viewers, flesh it out for our viewers in terms of the period, because that period will actually help everyone to understand how the scam was perpetrated over a period of time, and it was institutionalized. Let me put this in this way. It is institutionalized,
right, Shravan?
Because it was known for over a period of time. What was the route that should have been
taken
in order to secure a job?
কর্তৃপক্ষ এবং আমরা সবার কাছে প্রার্থনা যেন ওনার যথোপযুক্ত চিকিৎসা বা যা কিছু হয়।
এখনো পর্যন্ত কি সিদ্ধান্ত হয়েছে
আদালতের ডিসিশন সোমবার দিন ওনাকে আবার প্রডিউস করা হবে পিএমএলএ কোর্টে, সেখানে বেল পিটিশনে হিয়ারিং।
এখনো পর্যন্ত তিনি কি ইডি কাস্টাডিতে থাকবেন না জেসিতে?
না আপাতত সেটা এখনো হয়নি, তবে ইডি কাস্টাডি কোর্ট একবার বলেছে। ফাইনালি কি অর্ডার দেবেন এখন?
আপনার নামটা?
আমার নাম সোমনাথ মুখোপাধ্যায়।
নেবে একটা নেবে তো
সোমবার আমার প্রডিউস করা হবে।
All right, that was one of the lawyers involved with the remand custody arguments of Minister Partha Chatterjee, who has been given into Enforcement Directorate's 2-day custody by the Kolkata court in connection with the teachers' recruitment scam, in which the ED has found 21 crores and counting worth of bribe money from the residence of one of the aides of Partha Chatterjee, of course, Arpita Mukherjee has also been arrested. Let's go to Priyanka, who's there outside the courts, in fact, in Kolkata. Priyanka, the lawyer explaining his side, but the fact of the matter is that the Enforcement Directorate now has 2 days of custody of the Bengal minister to question him on his involvement, who all were involved apart from him, what was the scale of the scam, and the bribe went just to him or to others as well. Please tell us the arguments so far as the Enforcement Directorate is concerned when the matter came up in the court. Priyanka.
Well, absolutely, Abhishek. Let's speak over these visuals as well that we are tracking for our viewers. We had just heard the lawyer as well come out and talk about what's really transpired inside of the courtroom. And now, of course, the Enforcement Directorate has gotten a 2-day custody of Partha Chatterjee. And, of course, he will be investigated. He will be interrogated as far as the other people as well who had been involved with him, who had been in cahoots with him to carry out this entire SSC scandal as well. The recruitment scam, as we know it, that has come out of light with respect to the West Bengal government. And now, of course, there are other names as well that are under the scanner when it comes to the investigation further that will be carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. And, of course, as you had been pointing it out as well, Abhishek, the kind of line of questioning as well that the ED will be carrying out with respect to the nexus to uncover this entire nexus which had been running in the West Bengal government as well. And apart from Partha Chatterjee, in fact, there are Paresh Adhikari, who is the Minister of State for Education in the government of West Bengal right now. He is under the scanner, and of course Manik Bhattacharya, who is in fact an MLA and an ex-president of the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. Now, apart from that, of course, Arpita Mukherjee is at the epicenter of the entire investigation as well. She will be questioned as far as her role is concerned, and the digital evidence as well that has been seized from her residence itself of 20 phones that had been seized by the Enforcement Directorate, as to how these phones were being used, the kind of dubious transactions that will be investigated as well as far as the documents are concerned. And apart from that, of course, several other names of the TMC leadership as well that have come to light. And of course, we have seen that in the backdrop of these developments, the political war of words that has already been going on with the BJP asking the West Bengal government to take responsibility and come out and give answers to the people as when it comes to the SSC scandal. And as of now, what we are learning, Abhishek, is that Partha Chatterjee is going to be interrogated with these documentation, with these pieces of evidences that the ED has gathered over the last 48 hours.